What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode. I just wanted to get on here first before everything starts and just let you know this video is going to be back and forth. Had a hard time filming the last couple weeks, been super busy doing that big stair job and everything that we had. I'll throw in a little video clip and some pictures of it finished here sometime in this episode. But we're back in the shop for good. We got everything cleaned up and organized from the chaos that's been going on. We got some more work done on the GMC, but we're at a stopping point now. As you can see, it's just sitting back here looking nice. We're actually going to body drop the truck now. The owner wants to go ahead and body it since we're at that stage, and it'll save him some money now, save me some time. So we got to take a few back steps, nothing crazy, a little bit of sheet metal on the firewall, pull the interior back out. But we've already got the AC box and all that stuff finished and done. So luckily all that headache's already finished. It's just a little bit of sheet metal and stuff, and then we can start doing the rest of the body drop. But we're going to film that whole process. We're going to do a channel body drop where you cut over the top of the frame rails, clip your body mounts, lower everything down, trans tunnel, stuff like that. We'll film the entire process on this truck, and I actually want to get this whole truck will be on a playlist here soon once I get a little smarter on the YouTube. But anyway, this is going to be fun and exciting. I can't wait to see it on the ground like that. Yeah, it's going to be cool. But for now, we're working on this new project to come into the shop, the 72 C-10. We are building a full rear custom coilover kit with links and everything. So as for now, we've got everything leveled off, and on these old trucks, it's not uncommon for the frame rails to be a little tweaked. So we fixed that issue. We got the frame rails nice and trued up and everything right. We still got to take off the trailing arms and all that and get them out of the way. But we got all of our measurements for our center point of our axle. Got our measurements to narrow the axle because the owner is going to be running a super wide billet in the rear. We've already got the axle narrowed and tacked together. The jig is still left in it. We're going to get it back under the truck so we can start making the mounts and everything for the 4-link. We have to build the 4-link. But I'm just trying to catch you up on everything that's going on. So this is ready to set back under the truck to locate. I will leave the jig in to the very end because I actually weld brackets and all with this jig in. That way the heat on the axle tubes, nothing gets warped. It's a good thing to have. If you don't have one of these, I'd say stay away from doing any kind of rear end narrowing because I had one bite me in the ass not long ago and it's not fun. So we're going to get started today on trying to get this back under the truck, get it set, and we'll start making our templates and brackets and hopefully have, by the end of the day, maybe have the 4-link even built. But I'll try to do voiceovers on anything that we filmed the last couple of weeks just to try to catch up on what's been going on. But the shop is super busy. We're blessed. I have help here. Main guy's back here eating a biscuit right now watching me film this. So we've been having a good time. So we should have some pretty good content coming soon. I enjoy everybody that's been watching, subscribing, commenting, writing me, telling me my work and stuff. All that stuff's great. We're blessed to be in the position we're in. We're booked until probably the end of February next year now. We've got more coming down. We've got a lot of content to film. We've got an OBS Tahoe, a 2-door Tahoe coming in to get built after we get this out of the way. The white truck's going to be here over the winter getting the body drop, so that's a whole nother however many episodes we get into. So I've got a lot of content coming. We shouldn't be out doing anything off-site. I don't really like doing that in the wintertime unless it's just something we have to get done. So we should be in the shop quite a bit now so we can get nothing but automotive work and content out. But like I said, I appreciate everybody watching. I hope you enjoy this video. Like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And yeah. All right, guys, we're back today on the 72 C-10 build. As you can see, we've got the bed strip. It's stored. It's out of the way. We've got all of our measurements to narrow our rear end. Because like I said, he's running super wide billets on the rear. We're going to be building a one-off coilover rear kit for these trucks. I'm going to market those also. But I was just going to show you how I lay out my axle tubes to narrow them before we slide the jig in after we cut the tube. But this is how I've always done it. Just get everything lined out and check your measurements 1,000 times. And then you'll come through and make you a few straight lines all the way across the section you're taking out. And just the witness marks, that way you can take your cutoff wheel and you can score them into the tube, that way you won't mark them off. So when you put your jig in, you go to line everything back up after you bevel your tubes to weld them, you know the orientation of which side has to sit where. Then of course we use the Mittler Brothers jig. That way everything stays clamped and true because I had one bite me in the ass and I went ahead and spent that $1,000 on a jig. So, but we've got everything laid out. We've got it marked. All of our measurements are right. We've triple checked. So now we're going to go ahead and start cutting this tube and getting the houses cleaned up and beveled and ready to get the jig in so we can start welding. All right, so here's the rear end. I wanted to show you how we set it up. We always take and trim out bevel and gap it with the jig. Got everything cleaned, beveled, ready to weld. We'll go ahead and get you set up while we weld this out. Then we're going to buff the tubes down and get all these old brake line holders and everything off and clean everything up. I'll get you set up. We'll get this welded while it's cooling off. We'll get over there and finish what we're doing on the back of the frame, move the battery and everything else we got to do. All right, so all that was us tearing the truck down, getting everything apart. Rear end's narrowed. We've got it fully welded out. Got it setting back under the truck. Got it located. Figuring out our brackets and everything else. So went ahead and measured for our link bars, and we got those cut on the saw, and then we got them all coped. Let's see, got the DOM coped and everything the same size. Set up a jig on the saw. That way everything was the same cut length. Set up a little jig on the hole saw. That way it was all coped at the same depth. That way the link bars didn't change. Now we're going to set up a simple jig. That way every one of the bars will be identical. And that just going to be some angle iron here tacked to the table on each side to butt your bushing ends that we cut into the same spot. Just some plate to shim to put the bars at the center of each bushing. And once these are tacked on, then you'll be able to change out these parts and everything should be identical. That way all your bars are the same length and nothing's out of whack. So we're going to go ahead and get this jig tacked to the table, and we'll start getting these bushing ends tacked on and get them welded out. And hopefully by the end of the day, we'll have a 4-link on the truck. All right, so now what we're doing, we're trying to set the pinion angle. We've got the axle located, everything measured and true across, which we'll have to double check before we tack something here. But our operating angle of our transmission is at 4 degrees up on that side of the transmission. So what you want to do is you want to mirror that here with a one-piece drive line. And you want to be at least 4 degrees on the down slope. So your drive line angles are running parallel to one another. But you also got to take consideration how much rubber is going to be in contact with the road, because you want to get axle wrap when you accelerate. So to clear that issue, you want to run anywhere from 1 to 3 degrees more on your operating angle of your drive line on your rear end side. So that way when you accelerate and you get that pickup in your pinion, you're not going from where you need to be and changing, you're going from where you are to going to where you need to be, if that makes sense. So right now, well, right there we're about 6.7. 6.7. All right, guys, so we've got the 4-link built. Let's see if you can see it or not. They're all tigged up. Turned out real nice. So we've got our 4 parallel bars made. We'll end up building the Panhard bar after we get this part set. But if you see here, let me move you over here a little bit. We have the rear end. The rear end's located. Everything's locked into place. Pinion angle is set. Like I said, everything's ready to start building our actual mounts for our link bars off the rear end. We will have to make a bigger notch, but I wanted to leave the ones that was in the truck there for now because we got all our factory measures for our wheelbase from there where we're still on the factory trailing arms. And once we have the 4-link on and everything tacked into place to where the rear end's located and can't move, I'm going to go ahead and build the bigger notches that's going to go in the truck to give it a few more inches of travel. Customer wants the truck set really low, so that's what we got to do. So I'm going to get you set up on time lapse now and start building the brackets for the front of the frame and the rear end, and we can hopefully get this 4-link mounted. So here are the forward mounts for the 4-link. They go inside the frame rail and locate. They're all tacked together. We got one welded out, and Jacob's over there drawing the gussets we're going to add to the back of it. I'm getting ready to get these tacks grinded down and get this one welded out. Once we get them back and installed on the truck, we'll show you what everything looks like. Well, good morning. It's the next day. We've got 4 links done, or the 4 parallel bars are done. The brackets and everything are welded to the rear end. We started making the notches. We've got all those welded in except for the center. We've got to cut back out where the old bolted notches go. We had to spend some time getting those old things out and re-squaring the frame up. So I didn't film some of that stuff. I just got busy working, and sometimes I forget to set the camera up. But now we're on to building the actual Panhard bar. Here is the actual bar that we've been up yesterday evening. We've got our adjustable ends and our new tabs we made. So, see, I'll set something like this. This jog and bend in this DOM tube is just to clear the rear end housing that comes around. So that way this bar stays nice and true. I'm going to start cutting the other mount that actually welds to the rear end side. The frame side is done. We're going to get this thing hopefully all installed and ready to be finished with all the fab work on the rear end today. That way the rear end can come back out. Jacob's going to set the rear end over here. He's going to rebuild the entire rear end. The customer bought all new parts, so we're going to go ahead and everything else on the truck is new, so he wants the rear end to be new too. So I'm going to get my fab side done so I can turn the rear end loose to Jacob so he can get all the new bearings and everything done. He's already started working on the center section here yesterday evening. But I'll set you up and get you on some time lapse and you watch your work. And I will also show you the front mounts that are all welded in. We did the stock cross member that was under the back of the cab. Somebody already cut with like a torch, I guess, when they lowered it, and the drive line was getting close to the top of that bracket. So I want to get rid of that ugly cross member. It looks like somebody's like halfway cut it in half. And so we went ahead and built a new DOM cross member in the front that ties in the 2 forward mounting points for the parallel 4-link. Turned out really good. But once we get ready to get this set up on the truck, I'll go over everything that we've already done that I forgot to film just because I get busy and just start working and still getting used to the setting up a camera every time I do something. So, all right, guys, let's finish building this mount. All right, now that we've got our locations and everything set up for the Panhard bar, we've got the actual mounts and everything zeroed. The most important part that I know when you set up a Panhard bar by everything that I've read and things that I've done is that you want at half travel or your ride height, you want both of these center of these bushings the same distance from the ground. So you want everything nice and parallel and true, because at this point, this is the farthest point toward the passenger side that this bar will ever be. So you also have to remember that. And if you can measure where this is going to be a coilover truck, there's not an extreme uh, difference in ride height. It's not like an air ride vehicle where you've got all that travel. So you just want to find where this arc is. And well, that's one reason both of these ends are adjustable. That way, once we get everything set up, we can put weight on it and watch everything, and we can tune it with these adjustable ends also. But when you first mount it, you want everything to be true and straight, and the distance from the ground needs to be the same from each bushing. That way, you know you're at a level like plane across your rear end. And that'll minimize axle pull and push whenever there's weight transfer and stuff in the back of the truck. But for now, we've got to take these ends, we've cleaned them up and beveled them. But we've got to go ahead and drill a couple holes in this DOM tube so we could set these. I've got some marks here. So we can go ahead and we can get a few plug welds around, and then we'll actually weld the beveled parts of the tube and these tapered sleeves into the tubing. So we'll get you set up. We'll go over here, put some holes in this tube, and get over here and start welding. All right, so on the coilovers on the rear, this is part of what will be the upper mount. I got to make the tabs, but this is kind of like the gusset for the top of those to take the weight of the coilover. I'm gonna get these drawn up and get these fit right, and then we'll make the tabs that the coilover actually bolts to, because we'll have to be pretty accurate with the bolt distance. That way we can still get it in and out. So this might have to be bent this way some, and this way, but this will be the overall shape of that upper tower that we're going to build. So we'll get this drawn out, and then once we get it cut out, we'll see what it fits like on the truck, and we'll go from there. Well, I realized that I didn't film most of that stuff again. Sorry, my apologies. Like I said, when I get better at this, I'll remember to always have the camera filming. But my phone rings, or I'm doing something, or I don't know, just filming stuff is not the first thing on my mind right now. Plus, it's holiday season; it's really busy here. But anyway, we got I think the last thing I showed you was me, I think, cutting these or making those. These are the upper coilover mounts. We got the lowers and everything on the rear end, got the rear end back out. Everything on the rear end's welded and done, cleaned up, and actually rebuilt the rear end 2 nights ago and painted it Thanksgiving morning. I come in for like an hour and cleaned it up, got it painted, and headed back home so we could do our Thanksgiving stuff. But I still have to finish cutting out the center of that notch, adding the plates front to back, making sure everything's fully capped. This side's cut out, getting ready to make the templates for it. Got to strip those bars and everything off so we can get hopefully all the plates plated in the notches and all that stuff done. Get our last cross member added between the top of the step notches, and then start stripping these rails and get everything here ready for paint after we get the gas tank fitted back to see where everything's going to land. But hopefully by the end of the day, this will be painted just like rear end is, and I can come in tomorrow and we can assemble this thing for the last time. Here's the rear end, all rebuilt and ready to go back under the truck. Jacob rebuilt the rear end. I've changed out bearings and done stuff like that, but actually setting up new bearings, new pinions, all that stuff. I've never done that, so Jacob actually walked me through the whole process when he done it and taught me how to do it. And yeah, as we can see, you can see the compound and brush and stuff still sitting there. It was pretty neat. I never done one, so it's pretty cool to learn. But this thing turned out nice. It's all cleaned up. It looks great to be a 72. But I got to do the final torque on those bolts, swap out to the new pinion nut, and it's ready to go back under the truck as soon as we get those frame rails cleaned up and painted. And I cleaned up all this mess we had from the other night. So we got everything done and painted yesterday, cross members in, inside of notches are boxed. Everything's plated. So everything's was ground flush. I'll throw some pictures in. And everything got a good couple coats of paint. It's all dry today. All this stuff was done and it's dry. We'll go ahead and start assembling the truck. I need to clean the shop because it's in a mess. And like I said, we're starting on the body drop on the white truck. So got a lot going on right now. But I want to get this back together into a roller to where we can get the bed on it because there's actually going to be a lot of sheet metal work involved in the bed on this truck. Originally, I thought we could keep it all under the bed floor, but for as low as the customer wants the truck to sit, it wasn't going to happen. It was going to be bottomed out. So we went ahead and gave him a good enough notch to get him down good and low, to tuck those wide wheels out back. I can't wait to see it together. I still got to assemble the coilovers and get those laid out here and ready. But I was up this morning and went and picked up my newest tool. Thank God for Marketplace. I've needed one of these for a while. It's going to help out with the sheet metal work on the GMC when we start doing the custom bed floor and everything in it. But I'll get you set up and we'll start getting all this stuff assembled and hopefully have a roller by the end of the day. there she is. She's all assembled. Coilovers and everything are in. Suspension has plenty of travel. Feels pretty soft. We'll still have to adjust like the rebound and all that on those, but everything looks great. Got to finish the wiring, a few brake lines, and then put the fuel cell in, and then get the bed back down to get it cut out to fit everything. But that's it. Sorry, there's a gnarly glare in here from that satin black. But I'm super happy with it. We still got to get the grade 8 bolts and swap these bolts out in the parallel bars, but everything else has already got the grade 8 hardware. I had to order them from my local hardware place, so I'm just waiting for them to come in. We'll get those swapped out and get the fuel cell and stuff put in the back. Start on the bed, get this thing out of here soon. I don't know if I'll show it or not, but the next episode on this truck, I'm actually going to be doing a set of slosh tubs that's actually sitting there waiting on me now to do under the hood. This is the actual truck. And now it has full QA1s on all 4 corners. It's got this set up, and then now it's got our custom rear setup. Should be pretty sweet when it's all done. We just got some sheet metal to do in the front and the slosh tubs, and she'll be headed home to Keith. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. Full custom rear coilover setup. Everything's done, looks great. We got a few little things to do, but this is good for now. We gotta get the sheet metal in the bed cut out and get the bed on it, make sure all that's gonna fit well. Do our modifications to the bed, do our slosh tubs, and the bead roll panels that he has for the front, get all that stuff installed, and this one here is headed back to Keith. We already got the white GMC back up in the air. We started stripping interior. We're gonna start filming the body drop on that truck here soon. We've got a few other projects coming, so stay tuned. I appreciate everybody's been watching and subscribing. My goal is to try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of January. So if you know somebody that likes this type of stuff, man, send it around, help me out. I do appreciate it. And as always, if you need anything, I'm not hard to find. Just check out Bluegrass Metal Creations in Franklin, Kentucky. That's me. But I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We'll catch you on the next one.